Greetings and welcome to In Depth. I'm Dike Rostant. Now, this guest has been in the music industry in different aspects for almost 2 decades, and his art looks different at different times, sometimes even confusing people. But he recently released a project where he is sharing advice, and that really was the jump off point for us to try to reach out to speak with him. And Rheon Elbourne, he joins us now, and at the end of the discussion, you might want to join the different movement as well. How you do, sir? Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you very much for having me, man. Thank you very much.
And so, well, me for one, I didn't realize that it was so long that you were putting out work, that you were doing work. So give us a little bit of the history now, because yes, we know Kelly Village. Yes, we sometimes we hear people saying the name. So like Freetown, I think you're actually going to be part of the what is happening on the 4th of February. But give us a little idea of some of the work that you've been involved in, thanks.
I've been working in the music industry for maybe 18 to 19 years right now, professionally, but always dabbled in it before that as well. And I work with a lot of artists. Doesn't really matter the genre. I just actually like music. So I work with soca artists. I work with a lot of the dancehall artists that just emerged, some who still emerging. Actually, I'm an artist myself, so I actually do a lot of music for myself as well in terms of songwriting and actually doing musical productions like music videos and stuff to kind of, just put my vision out there as well. Yeah. So I kind of came up from Kelly Village, but I moved up to Caranage, and that's where I met Robin Foster. And like from that point in time, he's the kind of guy that showed me everything that I actually know today. He and his son and his family in terms of production and in terms of, he actually linked me up with Tree Canal back in the day, like maybe 2005. So I got to learn a lot of the stage and a lot of the theatrics, and there's a lot of more about the craft. So everything I learn, I try to teach it back to the youth the same way, because I believe that this could actually be a lucrative form of bread and butter. You know what I mean? As long as the youths and them actually learn the ways and how to use the music. Yeah. So yeah.
And talk to me about that a little bit more, because sometimes people think of music as a vehicle. You just spoke about using music as a tool. How using that music? Talk to me a little bit more about it, thanks.
I would well, speaking for myself, I can't speak for everybody else because everybody uses music like for different things. But as you're saying, rightfully so, I use it as a tool. The tool I use it for though is basically therapy. I believe every day have a song in it. Every day have experiences in it. So I supposed to maybe have 365 and a quarter songs. Just because I don't really like to be an expressive person in terms of getting confrontational or getting loud and wild and crazy to kind of express myself. I kind of boil that back down to myself, and I think about the situation, and I use music as the outlet to say what I would have really wanted to say, no matter what the scenario might have been. So it kind of calms me down, puts me in a place where I could freely think for myself, and there's not too much hot-headed moments going on, where I actually got time to sit back and reflect, and then take that reflection and then put it into music. And I kind of prefer to do music in that way because I feel like people more relate to the experiences, So I just put my life experience back into the music and use it as therapy. So it works both ways. I get to express myself, but it still puts bread and butter on my table where I can still work corporately, because I try my best not to share too much of the messages of, gun violence or these sorts of things that I can't really work and still use the product to make money, even though it's just therapy. It's still a job that I'm doing. So I try to make sure that I can make the content as palatable as possible, where I can work and a youth can play the music from 5 years straight up to whoever is 60, 70 years. Like I try to get the music in that box there, so that it could be widespread and everyone could listen to it once it's the English language, I guess.
And that's interesting, because sometimes some people will say that if you try to make it so widespread, it's almost as though you kind of water it down. So do you find yourself wrestling with that? And if so, how do you deal with it?
I just consider myself a human being. So really and truly, I have different moods. I don't get up happy every day. I don't get up sad every day. I don't get up angry every day. So really and truly, you would see different forms of expression from me based on the day because I use it for therapy. Whichever one relates, however, could kind of go somewhere kind of thing because it's not like I just make any music to try and generate income. It's actually a tool for me to keep myself at bay and keep myself calm. And I just hope that through these stories, it's relatable enough to touch people out there, and that's just it. I ain't really spreading it thin, I just being myself because I always say like you say Beyonce, if she wanted to not be Beyonce, she had to create a whole image for herself and call it Sasha Face, just to express a different side of her. You know what I mean? So I just want to show them that we are all human beings and they can expect different types of expressions from us at different points in time because we just like everybody else and we got to create a whole different image for that. I am Rheon Elbourne. I come from a multicultural place. It is Trinidad and Tobago. I have different friends from different races, religions, cultures, different practices, different ways they sing, different ways I sing, and I just blend it all into one. And I just express myself via that,
And I really appreciate that because sometimes it feels as though you create this thing, and I say thing because it's a product, it's a brand, and then you try to fit yourself as a human into that. And I really like that that example of Beyonce versus Sasha Face. And it was almost as though, well, for me to express this emotion, I need to create another character so I could fit that energy in. But that could also be a tiring thing too. And I think certain ways it requires more resources.
Not just that. I think it actually, like, while trying to do that, I think that actually sends the wrong message because she is not two people or someone that has to split themselves to send two different, but it's still really the same person. I think we need to understand that we are human beings and we use these forms of creativity to express ourselves, whether it be music, dance, paintings, like somebody might paint a fish today and paint a war tomorrow. It doesn't mean that they love war alone or they like fish alone. It's just we using the creativity to get it out of our brains and bring it into reality, be it pen to paper, be it voice to microphone, be it dancing, be it the waltz or the frog back. However we decide to express ourselves, and I do think that we should be splitting ourselves to show those imageries. I think that they should understand that we are humans just like everybody else. And that's it. We're just using the talent given to us to express it.
And being humans, we like to do what we like to do sometimes. And a song that really resonated with me was one that you did with Pronto in terms of like I just ready to do something, to do road, to get out. So we're gonna take a short break. We're gonna play a piece ready by you and Pronto. Pronto, we're saying hello to you wherever you are, and we come back with more. We're speaking with Rheon Elbourne.
I come to win and I never come to lose, and I come to cut the place and kick off my shoes and party. Wind up on somebody, liquor all in my body. 2 shots and I gone. I'm ready now to get on. I wanna turn up the place. I wanna come on this cage right now. Set me free right now. I'm ready now to get on. Have no time to waste, cause I go into a phase right now. Set me free right now. Ready to come out and look down. Lord knows how I settle myself. God knows how I better myself. So sometimes when it feel like nobody can help me, I just get up and get it myself. Lord knows I go hard for the money, I go hard for the cash. No, know Jaja give me blessings in the morning and protect me on muscle, come blessed. It's getting so hard to live the life that I want. I love my family abroad, but Trinidad are my home. Me set to myself is sticky up in my zone. Crime rate I rise and that me cannot condone. I'm giving me all in all the music and still me cannot afford to even pay a light bill. The pressure is on, not even time and a kill. You get the result, you see a dime on a bill. Prophecy fulfilled. Lord knows how I settle myself. God knows how I better myself. So sometimes when it feel like nobody can help me.
Welcome back. We're having a conversation with multi-hyphenate artist Rheon Elbourne. So I don't know, when you say producer, songwriter, performing artist, which one comes first? Or do you look at them in a hierarchy, or is it different days, different things?
Every day, all the things. You know, I work with multiple producers and I work with multiple artists. So let me just say, for instance, there's Forbesy Beats, like Forbesy Productions. That's a young producer that I work with. And he is always by me, like basically almost every day. He does like the instrumental building and he would record songs or whatever. So when he is in that mode, I don't leave him in that mode by himself. I always get up and help. I always try to mix vocals, try to master songs properly, try to make sure that it reaches the quality and then teach him as much as I know so that he understands. But even when we finish that project and we wrap that up, I might start to sing one time. So then I start a song right on the same day, the same way. You know what I mean? And then after that is done, I would definitely go in my brain into the production of maybe how this music video could go, even if it's executively producing it on a certain level, or if I have to actually be parts of every little part of the nitty-gritty, because these are things that we never really went to school to learn. These are things that we picked up along the way, and we try to build the craft as much as we go, because sometimes a lot of the youths can't really even afford it. So I show them that, you know, you need to pick up the skills for yourself, you know, and that's how I actually became a producer and a songwriter and a performing artist and an editor and all of these kind of things, you know.
And is it a matter of in that same manner, okay, I have an idea for a song, or I listen to a piece of music, an instrumental, and that sends me in a certain place. What is your process like in terms of creating your art?
It's a bit weird, but not really weird, because, well, I mean, all creatives are a little weird in their own right. But I just move with the mood, the feeling, the vibes, the energy. So I can go to a studio and I can't come up with anything because the vibe is not there. The instrumental doesn't make me feel that way. The ideas mightn't flow as fast, but I have my process. I record most of my music at home. Yeah, I have invested in myself to the point where I have my own microphone, I have my own interface, I have my own speakers. I can record myself, mix and master. So I think that gives me a little more leeway in terms of my own creative process. Whereas I'm not limited because I'm in another person's studio and I only have an hour. I have the whole day home by me. So I actually don't write anymore. I just go to the mic and I just say what's on my mind, line by line by line by line. And we piece that together as much as I can. And then maybe come back, revisit it, see what needs to be changed, see what we like from it and enhance it as well. And yeah, that's basically my process there, like every day.
And you spoke about mentorship in the first half of the conversation. How seriously do you take that now? And also, kind of following on to that question, is almost as though, is it that you're more willing to share that now? Because looking at this song, advice, because I'll ask you about mentorship and then we talk specifically about advice.
Right. Okay, well, mentorship wise, I take that very, very seriously. Because people were great mentors in my life and they didn't sign up for it, you know, they just gave. So I think that I patterned that a lot because that was what was given to me and I would like to give that back. So actually, as soon as I finish this interview, I'll be heading to Rostant because we are dealing with a group of prisoners that are released right now, but they are very creative nonetheless. So I'm helping them with a bit of songwriting. They have a play that they're going to do, any bit of recording that they need to do, any personal things that they might have even outside of the class that they speak to me about. And I don't really move with them like teacher and student. I move with them like I am you and you are me. You know, so I look and give you the keys. I rather teach a man how to fish instead of give him a fish so that he could catch a fish every single day. Because life is short and everything that I have learned thus far, that was just for me. But if I could give them the keys for that, then they could use it for themselves as well, you know? And maybe still take that same energy that I give to them and the same knowledge that I give to them and reciprocate that in some way to somebody else who is younger that might need the advice or need the knowledge or need the mentoring. So I think like how it was given to me by specific people like Robin Foster and Lisa Wickham and Sheldon Felix and Timmy Mora and you know what I mean, like these are the kind of people that actually they went above and beyond to teach me ever since I was a youth. So I go above and beyond to teach the youth where mentorship is concerned because I do it for free. I do it for whatever is the case because I just think that we need to elevate the society and a lot of youths not really getting the experiences that they could have because a lot of people just keep it for themselves, you know, and they generate the income for themselves, they gain the knowledge for themselves, and I don't really see us moving forward like that. So it's not like I'm trying to make a change. I just trying to do what was done when I was coming up and I received, I try to give it back.
Well, you call those names, and there's some big names you call, and we give thanks to them. But how much of it is you? And I ask that because you were willing to be open to be a vessel. Because some people is almost as though they're born big, and you can't really tell them nothing. They're doing it this way, and they're not open to any sort of learning, even though this might be somebody who's been and you know the name in the industry, in the business for a while. So how much of it is the person who is willing to get that information, to receive that information?
Well, from my point of view, it's a bit of both. It's a bit who is willing to give and who is willing to receive. I think because I was willing to receive, I got the knowledge that I should have acquired along the way. I could have been ignorant about it and think that like I know everything or but I listened and I learned because as I said, I never really went to school for this. So I had to go off of other people's experiences. And I'm a type of individual that I have no issue with patterning greatness. If I see greatness, I pattern that greatness. Some people just think, well, I will be my own big great thing. And nothing is wrong with that. But a lot of great people were here before I was here. And they have done great things in life. So in order for me to learn how that goes with my younger self, I took the time to look at these artists and look at the way that they move forward in life and look at the way that they actually dealt with their craft, dealt with their level of business. And I try to pattern that as much as I could while still retaining a lot of the originality of where I come from and the multicultural essence of what I experienced growing up. And then I kind of just take it all and place it into one where I could take what it is I learned with who I am and then just mesh that and then give that to the world.
And like there are two things that you said, and I want to follow up on them. One, patterning greatness, but also inserting yourself into the equation so that people see you as opposed to somebody trying to be Robin Foster, somebody trying to be Lisa Wickham, which you will never be, because everyone is their own individual person. But I also think
this is the advice that we give to the youths. Like you can pattern the greatness, but don't try to be that person. Remember to yourself that you and you alone are you. There is no one else with your voice. There is no one else with the talent that God gave to you. If you are a cupboard builder, you are a carpenter or whatever, and we give me the same amount of work that I give that person, we'll build two different things. The same amount of material, the same tools, the same everything, but up in our brains, we'll see it differently, so we'll build two different things. You can give me an instrumental and give another artist the same instrumental, and we will sing two different songs because of what's going on up here and who we are individually. So we stress heavily on being yourself because that is really where the gold is. You know what I mean? Not gold, but gold. Like you are gold. Like you are that person that somebody could like in Asia, Africa, North America, South America, Australia, Antarctica, any continent. Like you could be that thing now. but not stressing on, not trying to be what your pattern is. Be yourself. Learn from what your pattern is, and then be yourself, because we want to experience you.
So you start to give that advice already. So let's talk about that advice that you just put out in song. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Advice. Advice actually came about. The advice is actually maybe one of the few songs that I built the instrumental for. I wrote the song, I recorded the song, I mixed the song, and I mastered the song. Like, I did everything of that for myself. And then Antonio Achi, right? He came and he helped me with the idea for the music video production. But Advice is a song that sometimes when I write, I use different techniques. And this technique was basically using one driving force, which means you do have to this, you do have to that. Because I think it's time for us to stop telling the youths that the music not affecting the crime. I think it's time for us to get real with the youths and tell them, all right, well, you don't have to have the gun with this or the whatever to get 1 million views. You could go another direction. You don't have to sell your soul for the vanities of life and things. You know what I mean? Like, them things you can't really get back on. So I kind of just anchor the song with, you do have to this and you don't have to that. You might not have to this and you might not have to that. So I actually started to write that song I started to build the instrumental like around 2 a.m. in the morning, because that's when I get up and my creativity flows the most. And I couldn't sleep after I built the beat, and I got the concept for it one time. And I wanted to go and sleep on something that said, nah, just start to write one time. So I started to write, and the song was complete by 5 o'clock, recorded and mixed, you know, and mastered that maybe 2-3 days after. Yeah. By 5 o'clock, from 2 a.m. to 5 a.m., the whole song was written, recorded, and mixed, and just going through the process of mastering.
But it made me feel now that when people talk about pattern and greatness, they include you in that list to pattern from. But I really want to thank you for the work that you're doing, the way that you are giving back more than the song or the advice, and just like even like that experience that you're talking about, interacting, engaging with the individuals from Costa. And I think even part of them is the inner circle, the work that they're doing with that as well. Big works in the making. And Rheon Elbourne, thank you very much for making the time before you go to that engagement. And on behalf of the entire TTT News team, this has been In Depth with me, Dike Rostant. Thank you so much for joining us.
One thing me I pray, get my money and build my dreams. Rep for my city and fix my scheme. System mother, so they set it. So you have to get up and I get it. Get a youth, them a dream. Get your money and build your dreams. Rep your city and fix your scheme. System mother, so they set it. So you have to get up and I get it. Get a youth.